Hello everyone and welcome to another edition of Live Inside GWM. My name is Luke Heismans, your host as always, and again I'm thrilled to have you joining us today. This is your backstage pass into the world of GWM. Now, whether you're a long-time fan, a first-time viewer, maybe even a curious new customer, or you could be part of our incredible dealer network, we know you'll get something out of this event. Since we're live, it is the perfect opportunity to put your questions to our experts. If something comes to mind, please drop it in a comment and we'll get to as many as possible a little later on during our Q&A session. The GWM team will also be selecting their top 3 questions or comments from today's live stream, with each winner taking home an exclusive GWM merch pack featuring a GWM branded hoodie and some other great stuff. We'll reach out to the winners to get their details by the end of next week. So if you want to be in the running, make sure to drop a comment or a question in right now. Start, don't delay. I'd also like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land we're on today, and I pay my respects to elders past and present. Okay, let's get into it. Today, we're going to be focusing on, maybe you can see them behind me right now, the stylish new Aura 5 SUV, GWM's latest EV offering. And to tell us everything about it and to show you all around it, they're back again. It's the dynamic duo, GWM Australia New Zealand's Head of Marketing and Communications, Steve Maciver, and Sam Mulkerns, Head of Go-to-Market and Product Planning. Gentlemen, how are we doing?
Good, Luke. Good to be back. Good to see you. Hi, everyone. Good to be back once again for another Inside GWM.
Sam, busy as always, mate.
Busy as always. Great to be here. Good to find some time to just catch up for a chat in between all the launches that's happening, but very excited to be back here.
So you're saying this feels like a bit of downtime as opposed to the usual schedule?
I think today for me, it actually has. Quite often, Jazz and I drove here earlier on and we were talking about how we're on time for this one, and usually we're trying to get out of meetings and get here on time, and today hasn't felt like that. So it's been good. We feel we're ready and set for a big one today.
That's it.
Steve, as always, there's been so much happening in the world of GWM. Why don't you get everyone up to speed?
Yeah, sure. Well, look, it's been another huge month in the world of GWM. Obviously, June is end of financial year period, and it's certainly the biggest sales month of the year in our industry, most other industries as well. I'm pleased to report that GWM had record sales, not just here in Australia, but also across the ditch in New Zealand. So momentum for the brand, continues. In Australia, we sold a record 6,104 new vehicles in June alone. So just for context, that's 700 units or thereabouts up from June last year. That gives us year to date 5% market share, 31,000 sales on the cars already for the first 6 months of the year for GWM in Australia, and a record 5% market share. So momentum's great, momentum continues, and this little baby behind us has made a great contribution as well. 275 Aura 5 sold in its first month. Record monthly result for Aura. And again, more context for that. This car only arrived in showrooms a few days before the end of the month. So the fact that we've done that within a few days, we've got high expectations for this car moving forward. On the other side of the ledger with New Zealand, again, another amazing result in New Zealand. 610 new cars sold in June in New Zealand. The first time they've ever had a 6 in front of their result, the same as us over here, but ultimately great growth. They're now sitting 41% up year to date, which is, again, an incredible achievement. And again, just shows you how well the product's being received across the whole region.
So you mentioned the Aura 5 SUV. Are there any other particular models that are helping to drive that momentum?
The usual core models. Jolyon was our top seller once again, so that continues to be incredibly strong within that small SUV segment. Obviously Canon, Joe Cab Ute. End of financial year is of course a big time for Ute sales more generally, but Canon, we certainly took advantage of that. And the H6 medium SUV, again, a super important car for us, good volume contribution, but then even we're seeing growth in Tank 300, particularly high 4T, continues to grow as well. So great momentum across a number of products, and that's a nice place to be. We're not a brand that's relying on 1 or 2 cars to get volume. We've now got 4 or 5 cars that are really giving us good momentum, good contributions across the range.
I feel like this might be rubbing it in a little bit because, Sam, the automotive industry as a whole right now is in a really interesting spot.
Absolutely. Luke, it's in a rapid state of change at the moment. You know, we're seeing some of those traditional boutique brands, really struggling at the moment. And in the last few days, I've heard of some even preparing to exit Australia, which is shocking. You know, but I think it's just a real show of the times that we've got challenges, and we're seeing new trends emerging in the market, and one of those massive trends being electrification. So luckily that can play to the strength of GWM because we offer hybrid, plug-in hybrid, battery electric, petrol, diesel. We have a multi-powertrain strategy, so we're relatively safe, and we're seeing big growth as a result of that. But you know, if you look at the leaderboard 12 months ago, it's completely different to what it is today. So it's a really exciting time. I'm pumped to be with GWM because I can see a clear path to success, but I know it's a bit treacherous territory for some of the other brands at the moment.
I guess, you know, that technology piece, Sammy, like you're saying, I think that is the key to success. Now, if you don't have hybrid, if you don't have plug-in hybrid, you don't have EVs, brands that don't have that technology, or at least have that technology at accessible price points the way GWM does, are going to find life hard. Now, the opportunity for us is that, you know, we've talked often about our ambition to be a top 5 and a top 3 brand ultimately in Australia. When we look at our success across different powertrains, we're already the 5th best-selling hybrid seller, you know, hybrid brand within this country. We're the 3rd top seller of plug-in hybrid, but with EV, we're not where we need to be. We're only top 15 on EV, partly because we haven't had the product until now. And this is the car we believe is going to help us deliver a top 5 ambition within the EV powertrain as well.
Before we circle back to talking more about cars, there's been some big GWM events in the last month. Steve, can you tell us a little bit more about those?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, obviously we had the media launch of this car, which again we'll talk to, and Sam will give us a bit more feedback in terms of what the media said about this car. So we had that. We've gone from that into Big Desert. We took our Tank 300 High 4T, along with our 2 brand new 3-litre turbo diesels in the shape of the Cannon Alpha and the Tank 500 out to Big Desert in the Victorian Outback. We've shot a whole lot of content with those cars. The Tank 300 High 4T content is live on our channels now, and you're not going to have to wait too much longer to see the 3-litre turbo diesel content, and that's coming online within the coming days. Beyond that, obviously, as our co-major partnership with the Richmond Tigers Football Club, we did an activation a couple of weeks ago at the MCG for Richmond Carlton, and again we had the Tank 300 High 4T front and centre, using that V2L technology to power a really fun activation with fans and game day viewers. So it was great. So we're getting out and about. There's lots going on, and we're just about to start an activation, or just started, sorry, a shopping centre activation at Chadstone. So again, this car is the hero car at the GWM pop-up activation at Chadstone. We're running there now. Get down and have a look. We're going to be there until after Christmas, so we're there for a long period, and just about to kick off at the middle of next month at Westfield Bondi Junction. So from mid-August to mid-September, again, we're going to have these cars on display in Sydney at Bondi Junction as well. So there's a bit going on.
So speaking of these cars in particular then, I've been seeing the tag, Live a Little Mora. I see what you did there. Can you tell us about that?
So Live a Little Mora is the tagline we've developed for our Aura sub-brand. Now, as we talked about previously, GWM has got 5 sub-brands, 4 at the moment, a 5th soon to come. So obviously we've got Cannon, we've got Tank, we've got Haval, we've got Aura, and Way is just about to join in the coming months as well. Now, with sub-brands, to get recognition in market, when we're all still trying to make sense of those being GWM sub-brands, it's super important to build identity, a personality, and a role into each of these sub-brands. So if you think about what we did with Tank, Be More Tank is the sub-brand tagline we've had for those cars. More Can Do for Canon, it's all about versatility. Live a Little Mora is about the ethos of exactly what Aura is designed to do. It is a fun, urban-focused, electrified SUV in the form of the Aura 5 here. So Live a Little More is just about, you know, it's a lifestyle term about having fun and leaning into the fun design and the fun technology that exists within this car and the way that you can use it. So We've got a new campaign that's been running. It's been running on billboards nationally, so you've seen it. Look, hopefully plenty of other people have as well. And then as of tomorrow, we're actually heading to Brisbane to film the TVC for this car. A really fun little concept. This one we've had a great deal of joy working on, and that's going to be hitting the airwaves within the next 2 to 3 weeks, so look out for that as well.
And it is a fun, great car, I promise. We are getting to the Aura 5 SUV in a moment. There's a couple of other things I want to quickly talk about, because Steve, you just mentioned the video content from Big Desert, which again, if you haven't been onto GWM Australia and New Zealand's YouTube channel, jump on there now. There is amazing video content. To add to that, you also had Tank Club.
We did, look, yeah, we ran, so Tank Club is an event we run quarterly, and we try and rotate it around the country, and it's an event where we invite our tank owners, Tank 300, Tank 500 in, to come in and experience just how capable those vehicles are in an off-road scenario. Lots of people buy them because they like the technology, they love the design, but many of them haven't quite seen the potential of what those cars can do. Tank Club, we give small group, 40, 50, 60 people, tuition with experts and take them through a number of exercises to show them just how capable these cars actually are. So for the first time ever, we did one in South Australia, which is great. So we got our South Australian Tank Club community together, and they had a ball again, 7-8 hours across the full weekend, you know, running these cars through things that most of them had never done before. And just to see the joy and sometimes the surprise at just how capable not only the cars are, but how capable those cars make the drivers actually feel as well. That's the bit that for us is really rewarding, and it's our way of giving back to what is a really burgeoning and growing tank community.
Well, they're learning to be more tank.
Absolutely. living the tagline, absolutely.
Yeah.
So Sam, with all these recent launches and the continued sales momentum, what's the feedback been like from both journalists and new buyers?
The feedback's been extremely positive. So for the last 2 models that we launched, the Tank Hi4T, it's been extremely well received. And you know, it's some of the feedback that we're hearing is, hey, I can't believe how capable it is being a plug-in hybrid. I think people don't necessarily realise that the Hi4T powertrain does have real off-road capability. So to help show it off, of course, we had to take it up Beer Clock Hill. But what's exciting is actually seeing some people send their tank content in and us seeing them, you know, take it off-road to their own destination. So I'd love to see in some of the comments people telling us where they take their tank. It's exciting seeing that. But from the journo side, we're seeing a real positivity around us entering new spaces in terms of colours and paints for the cars. The Sundrift Sand was really well received, which is great. And then on the Aura side, well, I'll get into more specific spec detail afterwards, but again, the press were really excited about us bringing out an exciting colour palette on what is an exciting, you know, and kind of joyfully or playful range. And they also called out some points over the previous generation that they'd asked for that we've actually listened to and implemented in this model. So the Space Saver spare tyre is one, for example, that we're seeing heaps of comments on. That's great feedback. You know, it's what they've asked for. It's what we put into the model. So it's really positive that we're hearing that feedback back.
So launches. Steve, I have to quickly ask, as always, I promise to ask it every event. What's coming up? Any sneak peeks? What have we got to look forward to? Because I know that there's a lot of great stuff coming down the pipeline.
Well, I guess for once in these things, I'm actually going to be able to confirm a few things today, which is great. So we've gone out, you know, recently and confirmed that between now and Christmas, essentially, we're going to be launching no less than 9 new cars into this market, which is extremely exciting. And you know, Sammy and I, all leave is cancelled for the next 6 months, Sam, while we get through this.
But yeah, it's more than one new launch a month.
It's going to be an incredibly busy period, but it's why we do what we do. New product is the lifeblood of any brand, and we're so excited to have all these cars coming through. So, you know, we've confirmed that, you know, we're going to be having a 3-litre turbo diesel added to our Tank 500 and Canon Alpha range. So they're on the way. We're going to be adding, you know, Hi4T to our Canon range. We're going to be adding potentially another couple of Aura models before the end of the year as well. We're going to be looking at a brand new H7. We're going to be looking at a car called the Jolly Max, which is a mid-sized SUV, and the Way sub-brand as well is going to launch before the end of the year. So plenty of new product coming, and again, it's that new product and it's that new technology that really gives us the belief that we can build on this great momentum we've had within the first half of the year and close out the year with certainly in excess of 60,000 sales. So incredibly exciting, but trying to catch up on as much sleep as we can before we really get into it.
That's
Well,
it.
off the back of that, what are you most looking forward to out of all those products that you just heard Steve mention? What one excites you the most? Make sure you pop it in a comment. Let us know. GWM would love to know. Sam, it's time. So I've been saying we're going to get to the Aura 5 SUV. It's positioned all around us. It's just launched. Let's talk about it. Tell us about it. What's the difference? Let's start actually with what's the difference between the Aura 5 SUV and the previous Aura?
Yeah, sure. It's an enormous change. So it's a completely all new model. That means an all new exterior, an all new interior, and it actually sits on a new platform. It sits on the GWM 1 platform, which is a modular platform. So as Steve hinted to, we have the ability to use this platform to offer other Aura models down the track. But
One size fits all.
one size fits all. But for this specific model, versus the previous generation, it's grown across all sizes. So it's grown in length, width, and height. And I think although it's kept some of the design DNA from the previous Aura, I think it's a more mature, modern, edgier design that's been received really well by customers. So I think, and in addition to the exterior, the interior is completely redesigned well. We're seeing it running that new Coffee OS system. We're seeing it sitting on that 14.6-inch large screen. And I think we're seeing the sales really coming out as a result. Not saying the previous generation wasn't absolutely amazing, but I think this new generation really hits the mark for the current buyer.
It's a step up, and I've been lucky enough to be driving this cute Cyan around for the last couple of days. And I'm going to tell you what I love about it a little bit later, but it's a remarkable, you've said it before, fun. It's remarkably fun.
Yeah. I think when you consider the value equation, and GWM is always value. That's one of our hallmarks, right? Technology's there, loaded with spec, but incredible value. When you consider, and Sam's just taken us through the changes and the improvements from the old car to this car that's behind us, and they are significant, as Sam said. But when you consider the price position that we launched this car at, with all those improvements, is actually at exactly the same price point as the old hatch. All of a sudden, that value equation just becomes stronger. And GWM's real pride is that we talk about all powertrains, all users, all scenarios. And what that essentially means is that we're able to offer any mobility solution for customers anywhere, regardless of where they're based, regionally, urban, city, wherever, regardless of their powertrain preference, regardless of their life stage, but then also regardless of budget. Going all the way through from a $24,000 Jolyon, all the way through to our top of the line SUVs, setting up towards $80,000. We'll be stretching beyond that in months and years to come. But equally, we're there for all Australians and Kiwis for whatever your needs are. That is the difference, I believe, of GWM.
I'm going to add to that, because you say $80,000 and people go, ooh, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
But when you compare that to its rivals,
Correct.
It's a drop in the ocean.
100%. I think when you compare, products like Tank, and as much as they're getting towards certainly the top end of GWM's price band, there are no other competitors that offer that level of technology, capability, or value. So sitting in a world of our own and with some of these products, and there's much, much more to come in the coming months, as we said.
So I've done it again. I've taken it off topic of the Aura 5 SUV. Sam, tell us about the exterior design. What was the inspiration behind it? And what are some of the elements you really love about it?
Absolutely. So this comes from our lead designer, Andrew Dyson, and he's really taken a natural design elements for it. So some of the inspiration that he's taken for this model are smoothness seen in nature, so some rocks you might see in riverbeds and rolling sand dunes. From where we're sitting, you're actually able to see the headlights, which are inspired by water droplets. I really love the DRLs and the shape of the headlights. And if you take the side profile of the car, you can see it's really smooth and slippery, and you can see that it has that natural kind of organic shape versus some of the sharper lines you might see in some of our other range of cars like the Haval range.
And the aerodynamics at the front too are quite interesting.
The aerodynamics on the car are fantastic. They give an incredibly low drag coefficient of 0.276, and that's aided by that active front grille that you were talking about. So that's a front grille that can open and close according to the aerodynamic and temperature needs of the car. So because of this incredibly low drag coefficient, we get to have an incredibly long battery electric range of 435 kilometres for this car, which is extremely good for this class of car and for this price point.
I mean, even the 18-inch alloy wheels are working as part of that as well.
Yes, yeah, that's correct. The 18-inch alloy wheels tie into that natural inspired design. So they're based on a four-leaf clover, and because they're infill, they actually help add or reduce the drag of the vehicle to help add extra range to the vehicle. So I think they actually add, by numbers, an extra 5 kilometres to the range, but with or without helping the range, I just quite like the styling of them.
Yeah.
What's your favourite element?
I actually love the rear of the vehicle. So if you run up to a set of lights and you see 3 or 4 cars in a row, the Aura would be the most unique in the lineup 100% of the time. And it's down to that unique rear light bar. So it doesn't actually have exterior lights like you see on normal cars. It's got a rear light bar that sits inside the windshield that consists of 86 LEDs. And it was inspired by the breaking of dawn. And hopefully some of the people, I'm sad that we didn't actually reverse one in. If you Google the Aura rear, you'll be able to see how unique the car is.
Don't worry, we've got everyone covered because our amazing director has got some shots of the rear of the car that I'm sure he's showing you right now. So don't worry, everyone's going to get to see the rear too. But maybe, Steve, we might leave you here for a second. Why don't we jump in and you can show everyone around the interior?
I'd love to.
Come on over. We'll jump in the flamingo pink because I love this interior. This is a fantastic interior. Sam, I love this white colour. How light does it make the interior feel?
I absolutely love this colour. It feels fresh. Something to note, it is available on the flamingo pink and the crystal black.
All right.
It's nice and intimate in here.
So 2 different interiors to choose from, just colour-wise?
Yes, yeah. So we have a white interior and a black interior. They are spec tied to the exterior colour.
Okay. First thing you notice, well, personally, that I love is just how luxe this feels.
Yeah, like I mentioned before, it's been a complete redesign of the Aura. So inside is completely new, and adding to that luxe feel is all these soft touch surfaces. You know, it feels very premium. You feel very comfortable, and then a nice finish. Hopefully, you can see in these cameras is these nice copper accents that you can see along the edges, and paired with that 64 colour ambient lighting,
which you can customize. You can have it as one color, you can have it as multiple colors, you can have it tied to the music you're listening to.
Absolutely, you can have it pulsed to the beat of the music, which I think is
I love that. Let's
awesome.
get it happening.
Yeah, and a fun fact about the ambient lighting as well is it actually doubles up as a safety feature. So if you open the door and you have traffic approaching or a cyclist or a pedestrian, it will flash red as a warning to them, letting them know that a car door is open.
Okay, well, talk to us about the interior design. What do you love about it? What really stands out to you?
Sure. Let's start with the screen. So it's a beautiful 14.6 inch screen, and it's got a very crisp display. You know, some other vehicles, some of the manufacturers have nice big screens, but they don't really have that 2K resolution or that lack of lag that you see in this car. And it runs on the Coffee OS. So that's our internal GWM operating system. And it has a really massive range of features. One of the ones that I like is actually that temporary leave mode. So you can basically jump out of the car and you can leave it set at a specific temperature, and it will maintain that while you're picking up the groceries or doing whatever you're doing in a really cold winter's day or a steaming hot summer.
And it's also tied to the GWM app, which allows you to do some pretty cool things as well, right?
You can do some incredible things with the GWM app. Like I mentioned, if you're going shopping, it'll actually alert you if you've jumped out and you've forgot to lock the car or you've forgot to close all your windows.
And for the eagle-eyed viewers out there that might have just caught that, it's listening to us because you can do some very cool voice-activated things in not only this car in the GWM range as well.
Yes, yeah, that's correct. So if I say, hey GWM, I can do things like, I can say things like, open all the windows.
Can you though? See, if I ask, hello GWM, open all windows. See, it likes
You've got
me.
the Midas touch.
Hello GWM, close all windows. That's
Beautiful.
how we do it.
That is how you do it. Yeah, it's pretty impressive, and it's a nice luxe feature. Something else you can actually open and close with the voice control. I'm not going to mention it so I don't knock a camera here, but we can actually adjust the sunshade above us to open or close the panoramic sunroof, to open or close the shade on the panoramic sunroof.
Which is very cool. And it's all those little touches as well, I think. Like you've got the wireless phone charging, you've got customizable buttons on the steering wheel, lots of storage compartments.
Yeah, that's right. So some of the feedback that we had over the previous generation is, hey, we want hard buttons for the climate control. So we've listened and we've added these, the aircon control, we've added the adjustments as well. But another feature that they asked for was, hey, we love the fact that there's Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, but we want a bar where we can still have core functions along the bottom where we can adjust, heated and ventilated seats, heated steering wheel, parking brake, and jump between the different applications. So that is definitely something that has been asked for and we've added to the next generation.
But not just added either, like it's been thought about. These buttons look fantastic. They're not just clunky, oh, let's just throw them in. They're really cleverly designed.
Yeah, it's a really well-designed vehicle. And in fact, a couple of things to point out in the interior that I really like myself is, first of all, in the Ultra Grade, this 50-watt wireless phone charger. So because it's wireless CarPlay and Android Auto, you can just pop your phone in, it's charging, and it runs on the system. But it sits above the flying console where you actually have additional storage space underneath and additional power outlets if you need to charge additional items or if you need to charge your passenger's phone.
Speaking of passengers, I jumped in there earlier, there's plenty of room in the back seat and there's also a power tailgate too.
Yeah, which is something that's pretty rare at this price point. You do have a power tailgate which opens up to an enormous boot. I heard the fun fact before that we actually managed to fit the whole set, that is the chairs and tables, inside one of these Auras. So
we did.
It's a credit to the size of this vehicle. Even though it's quite compact, it's very usable. It's got 360 litres of boot space, and if you fold down the rear seats, which has a 60/40 fold, you can have up to 1,000 litres of boot space.
And sorry, one other detail. I don't know if we can see it on these cameras, but these incredible speakers in the front.
Yeah, so on the Ultra Grade, you actually have a 9-speaker sound system, and keeping in line with that nature-inspired design element, these speakers are capped with these snowflake-inspired caps,
Which
I
looks
think is
3D.
a really, it looks 3D. I think it's a really premium touch.
Agreed. And lastly, before we jump out, because I know
Sure.
Steve's probably getting lonely out there, it's loaded with advanced driver safety technology and driver assistance technology as well.
Absolutely. It's got GWM's latest safety suite. It's lane keep assist, it's rear cross traffic alert, it's front cross traffic alert, it's active cruise control. It has been rigorously tested. And if you go to GWM's YouTube channel, you'll be able to see some of the crash tests that we put the car through. And in addition to the safety crash physical impact testing, we also have adverse weather condition testing.
That's
so
a tongue twister.
Yeah. We've taken this vehicle from, I think it's maybe, I can't remember off the top of my head, maybe negative 30 degrees up to positive 60 degrees, just to see it operate in those different temperature extremes, and this vehicle passed with flying colours.
So there you go. No matter what conditions you're going to put it through, it won't be that. So the GWM Aura 5 SUV will have you covered.
That's it. One other fun fact that I'd like to point out for this car before we jump out is it has over 30 unique storage locations throughout the vehicle, ranging from cup holders to phone holders to glove box compartments to cooled storage in the back where you can store some drinks. I'd encourage anyone that has a new model to see if they can walk around the vehicle and find all those different and unique locations. And my personal favorite, because this is a pain point on my current vehicle, is the fact that this one has a specific umbrella holder for you.
Can you find it for all those people playing at home? All right, Sam, well, that was extremely thorough. Let's jump out, chat to Steve, and dive into our Q&A.
Sounds good.
We're back.
Excellent.
We didn't want to leave you hanging for too much longer.
Plenty to talk about. Plenty to talk about.
We definitely covered off a lot, but I know everyone watching now has a ton of burning questions and comments, so why don't we jump right into the Q&A?
Sounds great. Let's get on with it.
Let's have a look at what's coming in. Okay, gentlemen, are you ready? We've got lots of comments.
We're ready.
Lots of questions.
Good.
All right,
Ready to
let's
go.
kick it off. Janine has asked, the price is good for the Aura, but how affordable is it to service and maintain? Great question.
I'm happy to grab this one. Yeah, so the Aura 5 comes with a cap price servicing program. So it's capped at $195 for the first 7 services, which is, I think, some of the best in class value.
Karen says, spare wheel in Aura 5 is great. There you go, Sam, you've got
Yes.
a fan. Thank you,
A
Karen.
lot more feedback on the spare. Yeah,
You're not
happy
the
to hear
only
it.
one that thinks that. Denali has asked, I'm currently in the market for a smaller EV, looking at Aura 5 SUV, BYD Atto 2 and a Geely EX3. What makes the Aura stand out? That's a really good question.
Yeah, happy to jump in. So there's a couple of things to compare against those cars, and I think where the Aura shines is definitely the battery size. So it's 58.3 kilowatts, which I think is about best in class, and it's got one of the longest EV ranges, and especially against those models, it has the longest EV range of 435 kilometres. And personally, I really like that this styling is, you know, a bit more modern, a bit more inspiring than some of the other bland EVs I can see in the market. So that's, I think, 3 key features that are a big call out for this model. Oh, actually, sorry, last thing as well is because it runs on GWM's S-Volt in-house battery technology, it also has some of the fastest charge rates for this size EV as well. So you can go from 10 to 80% charge with a fast charge in about half an hour, which is about best in class.
And we say it all the time too. Like, if you are considering a GWM, go and test drive one. Don't just take our word for
for
it.
sure.
Go to your local dealer,
Yep.
sit in the seat and tell us what you think.
Yep. I think you'd be surprised with this car. You know, it feels substantial. It feels well built. It feels really well put together. It feels really planted on the road when you drive it. And again, you know, you can make your own judgment whether it's the right car for you based on its design, based on the value. But as Luke said, get in and drive it, and I think you'll be super impressed.
Harry, this eagle eye has pointed out that the charging flap behind me is open. Yes, it is, Harry, but it's for a reason. We're actually powering some of these lights off the V2L. We've spoken a lot about V2L capabilities, not only in the Aura 5 SUV, but in a lot of the range.
Yep. And that's the thing, I mean, we're using it for lights in this particular circumstance here, but whatever your lifestyle is, that V2L capability is amazing. You know, be it an induction cooktop, whatever it might be, you know, speakers, whatever. It's an amazing addition, and it's certainly something, if you've never used it before, again, to have that at your disposal on these cars is just incredible.
Yeah, if I can add to that, we've even had a journalist using one of our GWM vehicles through a blackout. And he managed to power some essentials in his house off the car, which I think is a really impressive feature.
Convertus 449. Big
Good to
shout
hear
out
from
to
you,
Con. Yep, a long time friend
Thanks
of
for
ours.
tuning
Love your interaction, mate. He said, love the different colours of the Auras behind and around you. It is a great colour palette, but it's not only these 3 colours that the range is available in, right?
Absolutely. So there's 6 colours in the range. There's the pink that we can see, the green, the cute cyan, and there's a white, a black, and also a grey, but a special matte grey. So that's, I think, a nice sporty colour to top the range.
That grey is an incredible colour.
Yeah,
Right, much
beautiful.
my favourite, as much as I love the bright colours here, and I know they've gone down well with with everyone since we launched it. I think the grey is a cracking colour.
We actually had the matte grey at our last live stream.
Indeed.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
But thank you, Con. It's great to have you as part of the GWM family. And for everyone commenting and sending in questions, please keep them coming. For him, wants to know, any time frame on when the Aura 5 will be equipped with @1 tuning?
I can field that one. Yeah, look, this car is equipped with that one today. That's the car that we've launched. You know, Rob Tribbiani, our tuning guru, has had his hands on this car. So the car we've got rolling out of showrooms right today has got @1 tuning.
There you go. Linda would like to know, does New Zealand have good stock, or is it an order and wait situation? Good question.
Look, as much as we're doing these things live and on the fly, I'm afraid to say I don't have a live stock sort of calculator in front of me right now, but I do know for a fact that we are ordering relatively heavily on these cars. We're very, very confident in how popular they're going to be, so there is good supply coming into both Australia and New Zealand. So my advice to you would be to get in, just pick up the phone to your local GWM dealer. They'll be able to tell you what they've got on the ground, or if they don't have anything on the ground, how quickly they've got more stock coming in. But it's certainly not a car I'd expect you to have to wait too long for at this stage.
It all just depends on what colour and interior
Indeed.
you want to go for, because that's the great thing about this car. It basically customises a bit of your personality in the palette that you choose. I just asked Linda's question. Kate says, love the look of this car, but question as a new EV buyer, how accurate is the 435 kilometre range estimate?
Yeah, I'm happy to grab that question. So we test this EV range against a WLTP testing standard, and there's two types in Australia that manufacturers test to, the WLTP on one side and the NEDC on the other. And the WLTP is a much more stringent set of test protocol. It's a longer test and it's much stricter, so it gives a much more accurate representation of the complete driving range of a battery electric vehicle versus NEDC. So I think for those people driving it, you should get very close, if not the possibility to exceed that 435 kilometre range. It just depends on your drive cycle. EVs are best in city and low speed spaces, so it wouldn't surprise me if in a suburban or city environment you would get up to around the 450k mark. But for those longer range trips is where you might see some variance in the range of the car.
Well answered. Without getting too much into the engineering side of things. Wayne would like to know, question for the team, why does my Aura 5's vital signs monitoring system sometimes trigger the horn and hazards after I've locked the car, and is there a fix coming?
I'm happy to grab that one as well. So yes, inside the Aura 5 is a couple of cameras, and one of them is a vital life sign camera. So it sounds like your camera is detecting some form of life inside the vehicle. So this is required for us to achieve a 5-star ANCAP safety rating, and we also want to equip our cars with the best possible safety equipment. If though your car is experiencing something, and obviously I don't know your set of circumstances, so I don't know if you actually do have or have not pets in the back, for example, but if your car is experiencing some of these difficulties, we have an expansive set of, an expansive dealer network, and we've really upskilled the tech team in order to properly diagnose a vehicle. So if this is something you do experience more than once, I would recommend contacting the dealer, discussing the problem, and I'm sure they'll be able to help diagnose, because we've invested a lot of time, effort and money into upskilling these techs in the dealerships to best support you with your vehicles.
Spot on.
We've got a question from King Granger 5064. Hey team, with the Aura 5 using NMC rather than LFP, does GWM have local guidance for Australian owners on an optimal daily charge limit for long-term battery health? What a great question.
That's
you
a
might
mouthful.
need to explain some of those acronyms for people out there that don't know what that is.
So I'll happy to field this one as well. So firstly, I will start with the battery chemical makeup. So GWM's in-house battery S-Volt system uses LFP. That's lithium phosphate battery, which is currently the preferred chemical makeup for battery electric vehicles at the moment. So that's the chemical side. But on the charge cycle side, it's a highly intelligent and adaptive vehicle. So the vehicle has smarts that allow you to charge according to your lifestyle. So you don't have to fit within a specific charging regime. If you're in a hurry, you can use the DC fast charging. If you're at home, you can plug it in and have it charge up to 100% overnight. The car is intelligent enough to monitor the temperature, the kilowatts that are coming into it, and it protects itself, so there's no need for you to change your lifestyle. It adapts to the habits or life cycle it adapts to the habits that you have as an owner of the car.
Can I add something to that
Sure.
I discovered whilst driving this one around the last couple of days? You can actually schedule the time you want it to charge to, like, for cheap times during the day or night, which I think is a fantastic feature.
Absolutely, yeah. So, I mean, if you're hooked up to solar, which, you know, you can get those lower rates through the day, or if you want to run off-peak periods, yeah, you can schedule it through your app or through the car, and I think it's, yeah, a really impressive feature that helps you cut down the cost of living even further.
I mean, that's a classic, perfect use case of having to avoid setting an alarm for 9 p.m. that you've then got to go out into the cold this time of year in Melbourne and go out and plug the car in. The fact that you can schedule that and you can tell and you can check from the comfort of your living room on the couch that the car's charging on that off-peak tariff like you want it to. Again, just amazing in terms of its usability and ease.
So small attention to detail moments.
100%.
Okay, Greg would like to know, my daughter just bought a green Aura, makes 3 GWMs in our driveway, H6 PHEV, Aura 5 and Canon Alpha Fev. I framed that as a question, it wasn't a question.
We love that, Greg and family, thank you.
That's fantastic.
Very
Greg.
cool.
Send us a photo, drop a photo in the comments.
we'd love
I'd love
that.
to see them all,
Love it.
the little family grouping. Thank you, Greg. Another one from Wayne, or it could be a different Wayne. We love our GWM vehicles. My wife and I own Hubble H6 GT PHEV with High 4 and now Aura 5 Ultra. Question, are there plans to expand Coffee OS connected services and add OTA features in Australia? How does that roadmap compare to what is rolling out in other markets?
Can you feel that, Sammy?
I'm happy to talk to it. So, yeah, so the Coffee OS system is something that we're looking at extending across the wider model range. So any models that aren't on it, we're looking to transition in the future. And over-the-air updates is definitely in sights for any of those models that are running Coffee OS. We will have the ability to update and add extra features down the track if we see fit. So yeah, it's definitely on the cards for us.
Time for a couple more.
Yep.
Sure.
Marita, absolutely love my 2022 Canon, goes well on and off-road. That reminds me, Steve, you were talking about, can we just quickly go back over, you mentioned 9 launches at the start, because I see Canon here. Can you just tell us, go through all 9, what are they all?
Right, here we go again. Hopefully I can get all 9 in. So upcoming, between now and Christmas this year, the end of 2026, we will have the addition of our 3-litre turbo diesel in both the Tank 500 and the Canon Alpha, so I think that's 2. We will have the addition of our High 4T plug-in hybrid technology into Canon, which is 3. We will have the addition of potentially up to another 2 Aura models join the range before the end of the year, I think, which takes us to 5. We're going to introduce an off-road, more rugged version, an XSR version of the Canon Alpha, which takes us to 6. We're going to have a brand new Haval H7. We're going to have a brand new Jolly M Max, and the Way brand will launch with 1 new product this year as well, still to be confirmed. So I believe that takes us to 9.
Round of applause, well done,
Thank
mate.
you. So it's going to be an incredibly busy time, but again, what a time to be at GWM, and again, what a time to be a consumer potentially in market looking for your next new car, because the choice that we're bringing to market is second to none.
I'd love to hear what people are excited about. You know, I see lots of different chats on the internet at the moment, and I've got a particular model in mind, but I'm keen to hear what everyone else is excited for.
All right, last question. Tina wants to know, says, wow, that's cool with the Hello GWM feature. Is this just in the new Aura 5? So being able to voice activate your windows, your sunshades.
It's in multiple models, really, yeah.
Yeah, so like I said, Coffee OS, we're expanding across the product range. So it's not just in the Aura range at the moment, but you'll see it spill out into the full portfolio down the track.
And as much as the guys were having fun with it in the car and clearly I'm not an Aussie and my accent certainly doesn't sound that way, but I'm pleased to say that that feature certainly works pretty seamlessly for me all the time as well. And once you get used to it, it is pretty amazing, because there's a lot of technology in these cars, but again, we want people to concentrate on driving, eyes on the road, and with that voice control function, it really keeps that safety front and center, just with that convenience rolled into it as well. So it's an incredible feature.
Like the climate, being able to alter that with your voice is amazing.
Yeah, it's
So you don't
fantastic.
have to look at anything. Even the hard buttons, you can just, hello GWM, fix this for me. Bang. Thank you so much to everyone for submitting those questions. We might wrap it up. We've been talking for a while now. Thank you so much for joining us, as always. We wouldn't be here without you all, so thank you for choosing to be a part of the GWM family and community. Please keep your questions and comments coming. Steve, Sam, thank you as always for your time
Pleasure
and
as always, Luke.
insights.
Thank you.
Thanks very much, Luke.
Now, if we didn't get to your questions, or if you've got more to ask, please continue to leave them in the comments below. The GWM team is going to monitor the chat and will respond to each one as soon as they can. A reminder that our 3 competition winners will also be notified by the team by the end of next week, so watch out for that announcement, as it could be you if you've posted up a great question, comment, maybe even a photo. If you'd like to explore more about the GWM range, or even book a test drive for yourself, just visit gwmanz.com for all the details. And keep an eye on our social channels for updates, including information about when our next Inside GWM Live, that's a tongue twister, event will be. But until then, that's all from us here today. We'll see you next time. Drive safely.